What's up YouTube, and welcome to the Anabolic MMA channel. And first things first, I just want to say Happy New Year to all my subscribers and everybody that is watching this video. And I know it has been incredibly tough these last 3 weeks without any UFC fights on, but luckily we have our first event of the year coming up with Giga Chikadze squaring off against Calvin Kattar this Saturday on January 15th. And then we have our first pay-per-view of the year with Ngannou and Gane going off for the heavyweight title, which I will actually be covering in this video today. So as I said, this fight will be for the Unified Heavyweight Championship, with the champion Francis Ngannou defending his bout against the challenger, the interim champ Ciryl Gane. And obviously that interim champ status brings some controversy, as it was not only 1 month after Francis Ngannou won his first bout that the interim fight was booked where Ciryl Gane faced off against Derrick Lewis. And with recent disputes between Dana White and Francis Ngannou, it will be very interesting to see where Ngannou goes after this fight, win or loss. And it is also just as hard to predict because looking at the betting lines for this fight, Gane is actually currently the favorite, but with such a slight margin that it is hard to even look at it that way, as he is coming in with a minus 120 favorite status, and Ngannou is sitting at minus 110. So with this fight essentially being a pick'em, it has UFC fans very split on who they think is going to win this championship fight. So now let us take a quick second to take a more detailed look at both of these fighters. First, looking at the interim champ, Ciryl Gane, he has a record of 10-0 with 4 knockouts and 3 subs, and 7 of those wins coming in the UFC, as he has absolutely just dominated anybody that has came his way. In fact, Gane has not even lost a single round throughout his entire career, which explains how he has risen to champion status so quickly. Gane is an extremely technical fighter, and it is very hard to believe that he will ever get finished the way he has been looking recently. Which is why the people that are currently betting on Gane believe the way that they do, because Francis Ngannou relies on his knockout power to finish you in order to win fights. So that really is Gane's simple key to winning this fight, is to avoid the absolute bombs that are being thrown on the other side. And now taking a look at his last 3 fights, in February of 2021, he got a unanimous decision against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And while Rozenstruik has started to fall off as of late, he still has a recent win over Augusto Sakai. And the reason why this win is actually of importance against Ngannou is that Rozenstruik also has bombs similar to Ngannou. So if Gane was able to avoid those, it might be a key to him avoiding the bombs that Ngannou is throwing in this fight. And then after that, in June of 2021, he took over Alexander Volkov and again got another unanimous decision, with Volkov not even winning a single round. And this right here is an even more impressive win, because he did not let Volkov win a single round, and at the time Volkov was on a 2-fight winning streak, and then even then after he faced Gane, he got another win against Tybura. And then in his most recent fight, he got a knockout in the 3rd round against Derrick Lewis, which was for his interim championship. And like I was saying just earlier against Rozenstruik, Derrick Lewis is a step up from Rozenstruik and just a little bit below Francis Ngannou, and he has the very similar style where he sits back and waits on you and has tremendous power and can put you out in any second. And it was all the more impressive that he was able to wear out Derrick Lewis and embarrass him again, just like he did with Rozenstruik and Volkov before. And just like Volkov before, Lewis came right back and got another W after his fight with Gane. And if he was able to avoid the shots again from Derrick Lewis, which is even a higher step up than Rozenstruik, there is no reason to believe that he can't do it again against Ngannou and take him to a decision, where it's very unlikely that Francis will win in that scenario. And we can now take a chance to look at the other side of this matchup, which is Francis Ngannou, and he is 16-3 with 12 knockouts and 4 submissions. And as you can see from that stat right there, you could see that he is 0-3 when taken to decisions. Which is why it is very important that he is eventually able to catch Ciryl Gane in this fight with some sort of strike that's going to be able to lead him to a knockout, because it is unlikely that he's going to get a submission against him on the ground, and he's also going to have to defend the takedown of Ciryl Gane. But like we saw in his last fight against Stipe, he actually demonstrated some excellent takedown ability. And that is really the major key for him, is to stay on the feet and wait for something to come where he could capitalize it and catch Ciryl Gane with some sort of strike. And I actually want to just take a look at his last 7 fights really quickly, just to give you the spectrum of this man was on. He got his first title shot against Stipe in January of 2018 and ended up taking a loss in a unanimous decision. And then he fought again in July of that same year against Derek Lewis, where he went to a decision again and he lost. And then after that, he got 4 first-round knockouts in a row, which left him nothing left to prove other than to get the second title shot against Stipe, where he actually ended up winning this time with a knockout in the second round. And when he started out that 5-win streak that he was on after the 2 losses, the first fight was against Curtis Blaydes in November of 2018, and he was able to knock him out in just 45 seconds, as you could actually see on the screen right now. Other than that, though, he hasn't really faced a dominant wrestling threat yet, other than Curtis Blaydes, but even then he got knocked out so quickly that his wrestling wasn't even on display yet. And in his next 2 fights after that, he fought Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos, both fighters that were at the end of their career, and also mind you that Ciryl Gane also knocked out Junior Dos Santos in a similar fashion that Ngannou did. And these 2 fights were Velasquez last and JDS second to last fight in the UFC. And then after that, he fought Jonizo Rosenstrike in May of 2020, just like we covered that Ciryl Gane did as well. But unlike Ciryl Gane, he was able to knock him out in the first round in just 20 seconds. And Rosenstrike, while he is a good fighter, he's a notorious slow starter, and like I said earlier, there is also speculation that he is starting to fall off already. So other than this Stipe fight, which I'm about to cover in just a second, he hasn't really fought someone that's even near remotely as technical as Ciryl Gane is. And now that I'm diving into that Stipe fight, I want to say first thing that Stipe is now out of his prime. And don't get me wrong, it is Ngannou's most impressive win on his resume, but considering Stipe beat him in the first fight and he was coming off of 3 wars against DC, it's really a lot easier to say that Stipe isn't the same fighter in the first fight compared to saying that Ngannou is a much more improved fighter in that second fight. And yes, it was impressive to see Ngannou stuff that takedown from Stipe, but that was before Ngannou was able to connect a few times to finish him. And because I think Ciryl Gane is going to be the most technical fighter that Ngannou has faced besides Stipe in their first fight that they fought against each other, I see this fight going in a very similar style as the first fight between Ngannou and Stipe went. I truly think that Ciryl Gane is part of this next generation of fighters that is evolving the sport. Ngannou will definitely have his moments in this fight, but he won't be able to connect squarely enough on Gane where it'll be enough for him to knock him out, and Gane will take him to a decision victory. And before I get to my official prediction, I want to just take a quick look at this fight from the betting perspective. As I said earlier, the odds are minus 120 for Gane, with Ngannou at minus 110 on the comeback. And honestly, I really would not take a bet on either of these men straight up. I think that the odds makers really got this one right, as this fight is really a 51-49 split, with Gane having that 51 chance, and it is reflected in the odds as he is just a slight favorite. And for the over-under rounds, it is at 2.5 right now. And while I don't have a bet on that either, I do think it is interesting. If I was going to place a bet, I would probably place an over on the 2.5 rounds there, because I think Ciryl Gane is going to win, and I think his best path to victory is through a decision, but taking the over also leaves room for a later finish on both sides, and Ngannou has had some deeper fights in the past, so that is a potential possibility as well. So as you could have guessed it by now, my pick for this fight is Ciryl Gane winning by a unanimous decision, and as for the scorecards, I'm going to put it at 49-46 as my final prediction, and with that prediction, I predict that Ciryl Gane will lose his first round ever. I think Ngannou might be able to win the first and even the second round, but Gane will be able to survive enough to analyze Ngannou and be able to win the fight from there on out. He has definitely showed it in the past before where he's a bit of a slow starter, but it's not like he gets knocked out because of it. He's just watching a little bit to pick up on his opponent's every move to where he could attack down the line and win as he has in all of his fights prior. And as far as my pick from the betting side of the view, I'm going to still pick Ciryl Gane because it is essentially a pick'em, and with that just slight favoritism on Ciryl Gane, it doesn't really impact my pick, even though I'm not going to actually place this bet down because I think this fight and these odds are at a perfect spot for where it should be. So that is all I have for you today on this fight breakdown of this heavyweight championship fight between Francis Ngannou and Ciryl Gane. Let me know in the comments what you think and who you think is going to win this fight. I would love to hear what you think about this fight and have a discussion in the comments down below. And if there is any other MMA related content that you want to see on this channel, comment that down below as well, and I will be looking through all of the comments to get some more ideas for stuff to post on this channel. If you did enjoy this fight breakdown analysis though, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.